back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm your host, Chad Owens. I am extremely excited to bring you today's show because we are here on the new set of the CO2 Rundown. Man, I just gotta thank the Honolulu Star-Advertiser so much for helping me bring my vision to life. And there's more pieces to add to this thing, so you guys stay tuned. But I couldn't help it. I got the custom signage in, and I couldn't help but get started. So thank you, and thank you guys, the listeners, the viewers, everyone who tunes in. We appreciate you. And there's a lot of exciting news going on in the sports world. So like we always do, let's dive on in to the CO2 Rundown. Huge congratulations to my nephews. We talked about it a few weeks ago, might have even been a month ago. My nephew Shaden and Shaden went out to compete and to break the world record in that bench press for their age group, and guess what? They got it done. They did it. They are world record holders in the bench press, and I can't be more proud because I see them working day in and day out. These boys are grinding, and you know, we as adults, everyone can learn from these two boys' work ethic. You know, you want something, hey, you got to dedicate to it. And they had a specific goal in mind. It was to break this record, to get stronger each and every week, constantly setting new PRs each and every week. And guess what? 2 weeks from now, maybe 3 weeks from now, they'll probably break their own world record right here at home, at their home gym. So I just wanted to take this time to shout them out and congratulate them. And Hawaii, you guys should be proud. These are world record holders right here from Hawaii. So Shaden, Pacheco, congratulations. Uncle is extremely proud of you. And don't stop now. There's a lot more that you guys need to accomplish. And this is a big one. All right. College football is talking about a new playoff format. All right. This is big. And this is big for the University of Hawaii. So the current national championship college football playoff, scenario is 4 teams. Out of all of college football, Division I college football, the top 4 teams enter this playoff. Basically is the semifinal. You win, and you're in the national championship game. They are proposing a new potential 12-team playoff. Now, there's pros and cons to all of this. Okay, and Dave Reardon, right, along with Stephen Tsai, have 2 separate articles in today's Honolulu Star-Advertiser that I want you guys to go check out. But 12 teams, what does that mean? Hey, more opportunities for more teams. Hey, the University of Hawaii out of the Mountain West go undefeated, ranked, and they get a chance possibly to slip into that playoff. A chance to play for a national title. But they're also talking about some of these bowl games for the lower tier teams may get cut out. And that's unfortunate for those communities, those cities, those programs. Because like Stephen Tsai talked about, back in 2001, an undefeated BYU team, and you guys remember this, an undefeated BYU team came into Hawaii, talking about potential BCS games and all this, and here we were, I can't even remember our record, but it wasn't, the greatest, but we had won enough games to be eligible for a bowl game. We beat the brakes off of BYU that year. You guys remember that, 2001. Whew, it was a fun time, boy, it was a fun time. Anyway, we didn't have a bowl game. So that was pretty much our bowl game. That was our big hurrah at the end of the season. But because of that, no bowl game, that type of performance that we had, winning record, the next year, the Hawaii Bowl was created. And so, yeah, it's big for programs. It needs to happen. So there's both sides to this thing. And I'm excited to see a new playoff system. But also, these are going to be more games for these college players. Right? You got your regular season schedule, right, which mostly consists of 12 games. Now you're talking about a potential, three more? 12 to 6 to 3. Like, is that my math is off. Anyway, you get the gist of it. There's going to be more games for these players, hence preparing them better potentially for the NFL, which has 16 games. Now, I believe they're adding a game, 17 games in the NFL. So, yeah, more is better, but I don't want them to forget about some of the lower tier teams, because those bowl games for those programs, like I said, is big and can be the difference makers for a particular player, And yeah, so make sure you guys check out Dave Reardon and Steven Side Stories for more on that. 25% of this year's U.S. men's Olympic volleyball team is made up of University of Hawaii players. Let's go. Micah Christensen, Eric, and Kavika Soji, sons of the legendary University of Hawaii women's volleyball coach, Dave Soji, they're representing. They're not just representing Hawaii, they're representing the United States in this year's upcoming Olympics in Tokyo. This is actually happening next month. So we're all fired up about that, right? That's big, big, big news. And Tyler Averill, former University of Hawaii middle blocker, is an alternate. So in the event injuries happen, something happens, he could be a fill-in. So shout out to you guys, man. That just goes to show the amount of work you put in. And all you aspiring volleyball players, both men and women, that's the ultimate goal, right? Hey, go represent the country, play professionally, but the only way you can get there, right, and it's not by yourself. It's hard work. Yeah, you got to put in the work. But when you're in that team setting, right, it's about the person next to you. It's about communication. I think at times people tend to overcomplicate sports, and it's not. You just got to communicate, you got to dedicate, and you got to work hard. You got to work harder than everyone else. And you too can be there. Your name can be called and announced, representing your country in the Olympics. So congratulations again, guys, and let's go. Let's get it. The NBA playoffs, where do I begin? Right at the top, I guess, CP3. Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns is out indefinitely. He tested positive for you-know-what. And so the NBA has their protocols when it comes to this, but I believe all the players are vaccinated. And I think that adds a little spin to it. So we're going to know more about his situation as the week progresses, and I'll fill you in as we get those news. But yeah, so what does that mean? Look, Devin Booker's got to step up. They're in the West Finals. They're waiting for the winner of the Clippers and the Jazz. And speaking of that game, that series is tied 2-2. But here's the downfall. The Clippers' Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, is out of tonight's matchup, Game 5, with a knee injury. So Paul George has to step up. And on the other side, Utah Jazz, man, Donovan Mitchell is a problem. And with no Kawhi Leonard, I can see the Jazz taking a 3-2 lead after this one. And on the other side, Kevin Durant of the Nets is just out of this world. He is literally playing like a monster from Space Jam, and just has proven why right now he's the best player in the game. He's the best player in the world, as Adetokounmpo, the Greek freak, alluded to after they lost to them and now they're down. 3-2. So, man, I got the Nets coming out of that series, and we'll just see, man. The NBA playoffs this year is exciting. I got to be honest, though. It's a little tough to watch, without the Steph Currys, without the LeBron James, this deep into the playoffs. But it does provide an opportunity for new stars to rise, new champions. And so for that, that's always exciting. Well, let's see what happens. And that is it for today's show. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And, man, let me know what you think of the new set. More pieces to be added. But I feel the energy. And I hope you do too. It's that Hump Day Wednesday. We should all be looking down. And I'm going to see you all come Aloha Friday.